Hi there, welcome back to Pretty Much Flawless. Today in this video, we are going to be building a crowbar circuit. Let's get into it. So, here's our crowbar circuit. I did a previous video on the SCR and Zener diodes. There'll be a link to that in the description down below, just so you learn about each what the components do. So, what the crowbar circuit is useful for is over voltage protection. Let's say you had some ICs in the circuit that need a very specific voltage. If we were to go over it, they would destroy them. This is what would protect them. So let's say this is normally operating at 5 volts, the circuit here, and you have let's say 5.1 volt Zener diode here. And as soon as the voltage spikes to maybe 10 volts, maybe there's a lightning strike, maybe there's something, the wrong power adapter got plugged into your circuit here, what will happen is your Zener diode will break down. So it will allow current to flow from cathode to anode. That will trigger to the gate of the SCR, turn on the SCR, and it will short your main 2 power lines until the fuse has been blown. So that's what this circuit is for, over voltage protection. So let's build the circuit. Alright, so we got our circuit all wired up here, but we're just going to be using an LED to represent us shorting out the input power instead of actually blowing something. So right now we're at 5 volts applied to the circuit here, and let's say we turned up to 7 volts, and you can see the LED has come on. So right now I had a 5.1 volt Zener diode here, and that broke down basically, and that sent the signal to the gate, and that turned on. So this is represent us shorting out our input power. Wait, what? You guys want to see me blow up something? Alright, well, we'll try blowing a circuit breaker. Man, I just love talking about crowbar circuits. Wait, do you hear footsteps approaching? I have come to tell you about PCBWay. They make custom PCBs for your projects. Design and upload your Gerber files on the website, wait a few days for your PCBs to come. And that's not all they do. They also do CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. Check out their website. There'll be a link to that in the description down below. And if you're looking to make your own PCBs, I'd really recommend using PCBWay, and look forward to using them again in the future. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Alright, so now you can see 2 camera angles. One is on the circuit breaker on the power supply to see when it will blow, and the other one is on our components to see if they will blow, not the circuit breaker. So, let's turn on the power supply and see when it blows. And here we go, turning up the voltage. And there we are, the circuit breaker blew, and it looks like none of our components are smoking. We'll feel the temperature. The SCR, it's cold, that's good. The Zener diode, that's cold, that's good. The 1K resistor is cold, that's good. So, our crowbar circuit successfully worked. So here's a few things to take into mind when designing your own crowbar circuits. So, one thing, you have to watch the polarity of your SCR and Zener diode. If you have either one of these backwards, that can cause very much head scratching in your circuit. For example, if you have the SCR backwards, and what would happen is, as soon as you sent the Zener diode sent a signal, it would block it, because the SCR acts like a diode. Same thing with the Zener diode. If you have it turned around, what will happen is, it will always be turning on the SCR, always shorting out your input power, which would probably get fairly annoying fairly fast. So, that's something you have to watch out for when you're designing a crowbar circuit. Another thing is your amperage of your SCR. So my SCR was around 5 amps rated, and the input power was a 1 amp circuit breaker. So the circuit breaker would blow at 1 amp, and my SCR is rated for 5 amps, which is no problem. But let's say this is 5 amps, and you have 5 amp SCR, that might work, but if the circuit breaker was more of a slow blow one, then that could potentially cook your SCR. Another thing is, if you're operating closer to its maximum limits, you gotta maybe put a heatsink on it, because even though it's momentarily to short out your input power, it still can generate a lot of heat in that short period of time. So you might need a heatsink for this, SCR. Another thing is the Zener diode. You gotta watch out if you put the Zener diode close to something that gets hot. What can happen is that can change what voltage it breaks down at. So your Zener diode, let's say it's normal 5.1 volts Zener. If it gets closer to heat, it might drop down to 4.7. And let's say you have an input of 5 volts. What can happen is that will just blow your circuit. So, and that's what I have to say about the crowbar circuit. Thanks for watching this video today. Hope you learned something about crowbar circuits. If you did, please subscribe. That would really help my channel. And I'll see you next time.